What can we do now that the government is pressuring us to offer tenants property rent-free when our property is on 100% mortgage?
I might take this one to start with. So this is something that all the Australian banks certainly were very quick to jump on. As soon as we started to see employment dropping off, they straight away came out and said, we're here, we'll help you, we will defer your repayments, show us what's happening, and we'll help you out. And that's gone even further now. You're seeing the majority of the lenders offering up to 6-month payment deferrals without even any evidence. You come to them, you say, I'm affected by coronavirus. They say, no worries. Don't worry about making your payments. We'll deal with that again in 6 months. And there are very creative ways that they can then deal with those unmade payments at a later date. So for example, if you make no payments at all on your home loan, 6 months down the track, given our interest rates of 3% or less, your home loan has increased by 1.5%. They're then going to recalculate your loan repayments over the remaining 28, 27, 25 years of your loan term. And you're going to see that your repayment, your monthly repayment, increases by maybe $30, $35 a month. It makes a truly negligible difference on your future repayments, but it gives you that security in the meantime where your cash flow might be low.
I suppose, James, one of the questions that I hear quite a bit from my clients' perspective is that more in terms of the longer term perspective, right? So I, as an investor, that yes, okay, let's say the rents are challenged, I go back to the bank, I get a 6 months sort of the free period as such.
Yeah.
What ground am I applying? Am I applying on the COVID-19, the coronavirus ground, or am I applying on the hardship ground? And more importantly, I suppose the question comes in is that how would that impact in medium to longer period of time in terms of my potential credit rating, as well as my subsequent funding, that if I want to get more funding?
Yeah, excellent question. So firstly, it doesn't make a huge difference what grounds you go to the bank with. They will ask you the reason that you're coming to them. But it's unlikely that your reason is not related to coronavirus right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's affected. The wording that AMP put out to all their brokers was the most telling. They came out and they said, you don't need to prove that you've been affected by coronavirus. Everybody is affected.
Right.
And I think that's quite indicative of how the banks are seeing this at the moment. Regardless of whether you've lost your job, you've lost your income, you've lost anything, everybody's affected in some form by what we're going through at the moment. The second question was around whether it affects your future credit history or your borrowing power. The answer to that is absolutely it does not. It is possible for a lender to report late payments under a hardship agreement as a late payment, and it goes on your credit file. That is possible. But every lender in the country has come out and said absolutely unequivocally, we're not reporting these payments. It's very rare for lenders to do that in any case. And it would only be if they didn't truly believe your hardship. They've all come out and they've said, we're not reporting these repayments. They won't put a negative mark even internally. So normally hardship puts an internal negative mark. You borrowed with CBA, you go through hardship, CBA doesn't want to do business with you again.
That's right.
Even that is not happening right now.
Right.
They're saying as long as it's coronavirus related, this is not a problem. You tell us what's happened, we know it's not a problem with you, it's simply a problem with the world right now, and you'll be able to move forwards perfectly. I guess the underlying principle that's important to remember is the bank isn't actually giving a handout. They're still charging interest on these loans, right? So I would still be encouraging you, if you can make repayments, even if you've got a deferral, still make your payments. Because every dollar you put in is a dollar less that they'll be charging interest on. But at the end of the day, the banks will technically make more money from you if you don't make payments for 6 months. And it's that understanding that underlies this. They don't mind that you're deferring your repayments. Financially, it's quite good for them in the long run.
Yeah.
So,
But if you are in a position to, pay that,
Absolutely.
if your job is not, if you are in a safe, secure job, and if your job is not affected and you are financially you can afford it, I don't think so. Definitely is a good idea. Because at the end of the day, you're paying interest on the interest.
yeah, it absolutely depends on your situation.
Yeah.
But even where you have deferred, even where you may be in hardship and you have deferred, it's still worth making any payments you can make. Because again, paying a loan down is always going to be better than not paying a loan down in terms of the interest you're charged.
And I think one of the things which I'm sort of seeing quite a bit of success with my client side of it is that the client is sort of taking the table the other way around and to sort of say, all right, I understand that you're getting thousands of phone calls on the hardship. I'm the one who's okay. I don't need to apply for the hardship. So that would be something new for the bank's point of view, right? So I don't need the hardship, but at the same time, I understand that you are providing a lot of incentive to the new funders, new borrowers who are coming in, as well as the existing client as such. And I would like you as a bank to look through my level of funding, and because of the goodwill that I'm providing, that I don't need that extra extension, I don't need this. What I would like you as the bank is to look through my interest rate and say whether the interest rate is sharp enough. Now I understand this is what the variable rate is at the moment. The fund seems to be rather cheap at the moment. I've been hearing all this 0.25% that you guys borrowing from the RBA side of it. Can we possibly have 0.5% discount? And believe it or not, many of my clients that I'm sort of encouraging to make these individual phone calls, and so far I'm seem to be having a lot of success. It's a case by case basis,
Yeah.
and of course it depends on individual circumstances, but it's about positive way bringing it to the bank.
Yeah, and something we're seeing a lot for new borrowers, and obviously I see new borrowers more commonly than ongoing borrowers, but for new borrowers particularly, when we're going to lending pricing teams asking for these discounts, they're looking much more carefully at your savings than they used to. So in the past, they looked at your loan size. You borrow a lot of money, we give you a bigger discount. And it made sense. Now the loan size is less relevant than your safety net. If you come to them and you say, I'm borrowing 500,000, I have 200,000 in the bank, we're seeing substantially bigger discounts for those clients than we are for people who don't have that money in the bank. It's exactly what you're saying. Banks are looking for security, but are also open to anybody that needs to defer those repayments.
I think, that brings me to, the fundamentals of securing your future, right? One of the fundamentals is, be disciplined with your money. This is the time, if you have been disciplined, putting that buffer, you've been putting that buffer aside, you'll be less worried. But if you are spending, you're earning 100 and you're spending 105, then you'll be worried more. But money discipline is the one that, yes, property, yes, we talk about shares and all these are vehicles, but it all starts from money disciplines. And that's why I think this is the time to learn from it and say, how can we put that money discipline and put that 10-20% aside as a buffer, so when there is no sunshine, when it's raining out, yes, I can sleep comfortably at night.